Welcome to our debut of CFB Can't Miss Games. This is a special short podcast of Gridiron Glory. I'm Alexander Cook, co-Wolfgang, unable to make it for this show due to family commitments. Let's start by talking about what for me is number 5. Wisconsin taking on Iowa. Now, Wisconsin opens up their Big Ten West plays. They go on the road to that hot road environment in Kinnick Stadium over in Iowa City. Play-by-play will be Steve Levy along with Brian Greasy and Todd McShay on ESPN. Now, the line is 3.5 for Wisconsin, so they are favored by 3.5. I personally think that Wisconsin does get the win. However, let's take a look at where they are in the Big Ten West. They are 6th in the Big Ten West right now, despite playing two of the best in the East. Michigan, Ohio State, who are in close competition to take that Big Ten East spot. We will be looking forward to, and I mean looking forward to, that Ohio State-Michigan game at the Horseshoe in Week 13. But right now, Wisconsin does not have room for error. They play Iowa, which is unranked, but higher than Wisconsin in the East, number 2 in the East, and they face none other than Nebraska, which is undefeated. Now they've had several close calls, but they are undefeated. They're facing Purdue today, easy win. Now, for Nebraska, things are about to get a whole lot tougher. They'll face Ohio State, they'll face Wisconsin. I'm picking Ohio State and Wisconsin in both of those games. Then, of course, today, Wisconsin, Iowa. And Iowa will go on to play Michigan, where I think they'll lose. It'll be at home, probably Saturday Night Football on ABC, but I think with Iowa will lose. So I think the best team in the West and the team that will win the West and face either Michigan or Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship is Wisconsin. Now, if you'll remember what a game we had last week between Ohio State and Wisconsin at Camp Randall, certainly one I won't forget for a very long time. And now they go on the road to face Iowa. Wisconsin does. I think it's going to be very close, just like the line, about 3.5 points. I think this will be a one-score game, but I do think Wisconsin gets the win. I don't think it'll be high scoring, but Wisconsin gets the win, then move on to 5-2, while Iowa will fall to 5-3. Certainly one to watch there. Then we have NC State taking on Louisville at number 4. And the Cardinals last week struggled against Duke, barely winning. They had to kick a field goal to get a 6-point lead, but there was a holding penalty on Duke, and that meant that Lamar Jackson get back on the field. He ran it in to the end zone. They ended up winning 24-3. So they struggled to, but there was rain that night, so maybe that had something to do with it. Louisville better hope so. Louisville's favored by 19.5 points against NC State. Now remember, NC State last week almost and should have beaten who are currently the number 4 Clemson Tigers. Back then they were number 3 Clemson Tigers. They just couldn't do it. They went into overtime and they lost. And the reason was terrible special teams. It just destroyed NC State. 3 missed kicks for their field goal kicker. 1 did go through, but 3 straight missed kicks, including one that would have surely won the game close that ended regulation. It's just ridiculous. And it's just crazy for that field goal team. And, Clemson, the ACC is not that strong after seeing that Louisville performance on Friday night and then the Clemson performance. But, Clemson's got a bye week. They're going to face Florida State next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think that game will be a lot of fun. But just the ACC isn't that strong right now. And Louisville's favored by 19.5 points at home. I don't see it happening. I think NC State's better than that. I think, Lamar Jackson's still way ahead in the Heisman race, but he just did not look the best in that game against Duke. And Duke is one of the last teams in the ACC. It's just unbelievable. So I think this will be a close game, but I do think Louisville escapes. But 19.5 points, after that performance last week. And who knows, maybe it was the rain last week, but gotta believe it's going to be a little bit more. This is going to be noon Eastern time, and the announcers are Bob Wischusen, Brock Heward, and Allison Williams. That game will be on ABC. Then we have LSU and Ole Miss. And great news, Brent Musburger will be back on ESPN for this one. It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern. Now, both of these teams are ranked. LSU and Ole Miss. LSU at number 25, Ole Miss at number 23. But and it's going to be at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. But check this out. The Tigers are 4-2 overall, 2-1 in the SEC. Their only loss coming to the Auburn Tigers. The Rebels are 3-3 overall and 1-2 in the SEC, but they have faced a lot of hard opponents. This is a chance to get a necessary win or to move on. And last week, of course, losing 34-30 against Arkansas. Ole Miss needs to get some momentum here because they're looking decent. It's just they can't win the game. And Chad Kelly needs to have a great night. Ole Miss needs to stop LSU in all facets of the game. And, LSU's a 7.5-point favorite. I think that's pretty accurate. I think LSU gets the job done by about 7 points, about one score, maybe even more. But that's going to be, once again, 9 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN, 4-2, number 25, LSU, hosting 3-3, number 23, Ole Miss. And then we have a really good one here, and I'm really hyped up for this one. Auburn versus Arkansas. Now, Arkansas, coming off of a huge win over Ole Miss after losing in tough ones to Alabama and Texas A&M. Well, guess what? They are going to go on the road to face at Auburn. And the Tigers on a 3-game winning streak. They're riding a 3-game winning streak. It's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Joe Tessitore along with Todd Blackledge will give you that one. And really looking forward to this matchup on the Plains. Auburn's offense has improved. They didn't look too good in the second half against Mississippi State. But remember, they had a bye week to prepare for this one. I'm pretty impressed by Auburn. I'm pretty impressed by Arkansas coming off that 34-30 win at home against Ole Miss. So this is a can't miss over on the Plains. Once again, 6 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Joe Tessitore, Tom Blackledge will broadcast the game along with Holly Rose, your sideline reporter, Jordan Hare Stadium. And the line is Auburn by 9. I think that Arkansas is going to keep it about a one-score game, but I do believe Auburn gets the win. At Jordan Hare, the fans will be ready. I think Auburn's had the bye week. I think they're going to look really good. And they've been really good on defense. So I've got Auburn, and they've been impressive as the year's gone on. Much more impressive than they have before. And maybe even the Iron Bowl later on this year. It's going to be huge if they can get this win right here. But Alabama has to get a win too, and they are facing the only undefeated team left on their regular season schedule, and that's Texas A&M heading to Bryant-Denny. And Alabama thrashed Tennessee 49-10. But can they thrash Texas A&M even at home? I don't think so. Now, the line is Alabama by 19 points. That's pretty crazy. I think it's a 10-point game. I think Alabama will win because Alabama's the best coaching staff of the two. Alabama, with all due respect to Texas A&M's coaching staff, Alabama's the best players of the two overall. Now, once again, with all due respect to Texas A&M, which is really talented, and then they need, if Texas A&M wants to win, they have to do a few things. They have to have a big day from Trevor Knight, which means good protection for that offensive line. Trevor Knight has to throw the ball well. He has to be clutch there. He has to run the ball well. He needs to be in the running game. Needs to get going. Texas A&M needs to be sharp on the offensive side of the ball, throwing some misdirection, and do whatever you can to have a good offensive game against Alabama, which, as we all know, is extremely, extremely hard. And then the defense has to step up and stop the Alabama rushing attack. Because if they can stop the rushing attack, then the Alabama passing attack isn't effective. They need the rushing lanes to open up the passing lanes. And if Texas A&M, which has been phenomenal stopping the rushing attack, can't do that, they certainly have a huge chance of winning. This will be 3:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. The great Vern Lundquist, in his last season, will be joined by Gary Danielson in the booth and Allie LaForce on the sideline. Once again, Alabama favored by 19 points. I find that ridiculous. Texas A&M keeps it close, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas A&M won, but I've got to go with Alabama. They haven't proved they can lose this season. Well, thank you for watching our Can't Miss Games series debut of Gridiron Glory. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter at @thefootballkids. Just @thefootballkids. And we will have live game updates, all the pregame hype that you need to start your day. And we'll have all of our podcasts up there when they are released. Once again, please follow @thefootballkids. And also on @thefootballkids, you can find our blog, which is gridironglorysportsblog.weebly.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day of college football.